Viewers and subscribers, welcome back to Beating the Press podcast. I am your host, Rafa. Now, today we're going to be looking at the two big matches coming up on the weekend. First up, we have Aston Villa versus Newcastle, two red-hot teams currently. And then we will look at West Ham versus Arsenal. Now, of course, joining me today to preview these two matches, we have returning to the platform, Snypa.
And as I respect viewers and subscribers.
We also have Leon.
Happy to be back, viewers and subscribers.
Yes, gentlemen, welcome. Now we're going to jump straight into it. No time to waste. Aston Villa versus Newcastle, two red-hot teams in flying form. Snypa, talk to us as the Aston Villa man. How do you see this one?
It's going to be a tough game. I think we spoke about it earlier in the week. It's going to be a very, very tough game. And our number 6 versus a number 3 in the table team. Newcastle definitely don't want to give up that position. Aston Villa trying to secure at least a number 5 spot, right? So we can get into the European League.
Why not 4?
At least a number 5. We have to work with Emery. I work with the boss. A number 5, top 5 it is.
Okay.
Right now we're looking at top 5. All right. It's definitely doable. It's gonna be a tough game. Getting started there.
Well, definitely. I mean, these days, any game in the EPL is always a tough one, with teams spending, big name managers coming into the league, etc. So, Leon, but how do you see this one, Leon? How do you see both teams coming into this fixture?
I share the same view as Sniper. Both teams are at form, as you said, both key players. In hot form. I think it's Aston Villa's home match, right?
That's right.
Home match.
Aston Villa, hasn't conceded since the Arsenal match there, so their defense has been on top. Well, both defenses has been on top, and I see nothing but a scintillating match.
Yes, this one should be a very tight fixture. Aston Villa 4 straight wins, Newcastle 5 straight wins. So this one is definitely going to be, a very tight game. I don't think any of those teams will be looking to give up ground, and both teams are approaching this one in confident form. A lot of players coming on in terms of their form, goal scoring prowess, and of course both teams keeping a few clean sheets lately as well. Newcastle continued to be the meanest defense in the league. But from a tactical point of view, Sniper, talk to us in terms of Aston Villa. What can we expect from them in terms of their tactical setup, team selection coming from Emery? We also saw in the last game where Leon Bailey, one of the key linchpin, picked up an injury as well. How will that affect the team?
In regards to Leon Bailey, I don't think that injury is going to affect the team. I don't think his injury was as serious as it seemed. Because he has been training with the team per updates that we have seen online. So he has been around the team training all week this week. Tactically, though, I think we're going to keep the same 4-4-2 lineup that we've been working with for the last 2 games. That has been working perfectly fine.
Yes. 4-2-2. I figure more or less you would have Ole Watkins striking there, along with Leon Bailey up front, and of course a backline with a few changes as well. Ashley Young, Leon, came in for the injured Cash and has been doing a good job.
Yeah, I think from Man United days, I think Ashley Young has been a very solid customer when it comes down to all-around play, and I think he should start. I think I saw like in the news, Maximiliano, that Maximil, I think news was coming out that he was injured, and then I saw him post on his Instagram him running. So I think the coach should start him to just test Ashley Young in that position. But I think the 4-4-2, as you said, with that Aston Villa uses with Ollie Watkins, I don't think Leon Bailey will be starting this. I think
probably Brandon Traore comes in for him.
I think he's hitting some form. 2 goals in his last 2 matches. So I think other than that change, I think the lineup should remain consistent. While Newcastle, I think Joe Linton started on the wing, as I mentioned. I think they should put the number 10 there to try have a go at Ashley Young a little bit. And I think it's at home. I expect Aston Villa to somewhat go for it with their overloaded midfield to keep control of the game. But as we know, Newcastle is very hard pressing. I think they'll be hunting down the ball, and we know their little rough play. They have huge
Center
players, so
forwards.
I
And
think that should come into play.
yeah, definitely. Isak has been in red hot form as well. That new signing, along with Callum Wilson. I'm wondering to myself if Eddie Howe will somehow try to start both of them in the same lineup, or do you think that will be pushing the attack a bit too far?
I think it will be pushing it a little bit too far.
Mm.
I think he'll work with whatever he has done. I think it's either both. 1 week he starts Wilson, and 1 week he'll start Isak, and whether which one of them starts, one seems to score and the other one coming on seems to score from the bench. So I just think one he thinks will suit the game more, and I think based on Isak, I think I would go with Isak because Aston Villa won't be they would be somewhat organized, but I think his speed in behind can be a very key factor to this game.
Yes, definitely. We see him scored a brilliant goal against was it Nottingham Forest or Brentford
And
in
Brentford,
the last game, and then we see also Callum Wilson had come on and was playing quite well also. He had a goal chalked off. So it seems the Newcastle attack is definitely firing on all cylinders. I'm wondering to myself if the Aston Villa defense will be able to keep them at bay. I mean, we see a very old Ashley Young, sometimes experience might not do it, but you need that physical presence as well.
and I think they're getting back Almiron from injury also, so that's another
Mm,
option off the bench. For
definitely another option.
Sorry about that, guys.
Yes, Sniper, you're back with us.
Yeah, we're
Some
living in
technical
Florida where
difficulty.
technical difficulties.
Mm. Yes, we were just mentioning that Newcastle attack seem to be firing, and will Aston Villa have enough to keep them at bay? Is-
I mean, if we're being completely honest, at this current moment, our defense has been on I can say a consistent form of lately. We have seen a new and improved Kanza,
Yes, yes.
you know what I mean, which is great. We have Marina on the wing. We have Ashley Young that is old but doing a good job.
Yeah, I must say quite surprising, I'm wondering to myself, this is pretty much the
And
same team Steven Gerrard had at his disposal. What is it that Emery has brought to the fore that Gerrard wasn't doing that has resulted in such a rise in fortune for Aston Villa?
same team, different coach. Facts.
Yeah, it's the same team, different coach. So, Sniper, can you
actual
pinpoint
plan,
any
actual
particular
plan.
thing?
But one, I mean, one has an actual plan and style, so there's a difference. One has various um, tactical approaches that we were missing or lacking with Mr. Gerrard himself. Not to say that he's a bad coach or whatnot. He was a little bit of style. Once he got used to in the Premier League, everybody kind of figured out what he was going to come with the next
Mm,
game and the next game and the next game, and nothing changed. Um, with Emery, you see where he can go. Five in the back, he can go 4-4-2, he can go 4-1-3-2 or something like so. Like, he has different
variation.
play that he chooses depending on how the game is going. Him have him, you know, is switch off where he can say, all right, guys, let's minimize the damage, if there's gonna be a damage.
All right.
So, we never had that with Steven Gerrard. If there was damage, we would just get the damage.
Yeah, it's quite a turnaround in fortunes, I must say, and of course for the better, since taking over, Emery has really brought the team a whole new level of success and has elevated them
and
to, to be striding to get into Europe currently. Before it
and if
was
there's
a
a
fight against relegation.
absolutely, and if there's a player that deserves the highlight, we have to give Mings a highlight because Mings has really been on form the last 4 or 5 games.
Yes, I mean
He
from
hasn't
being
missed.
cast aside by
He,
Gerrard to being the star defender under Emery.
he has not. He has been there. He has shown up completely, total different Tyrone Mings.
Yes,
So,
definitely.
um, I believe Aston Villa does have the team to take on Newcastle. However, it's gonna be a tough game. Not to mention we still have Diego Carlos that is back from injury but has not been in the starting lineup.
Mm.
So we have a few options that can go in the back.
Yes, it should definitely be an interesting one. But Leon, talk to us about Newcastle. I mean, we've seen much like Aston Villa, Newcastle this year has technically come out of nowhere and has been riding high. What is it that Eddie Howe has brought to Newcastle that was lacking under previous managers?
Probably a sense of belief. I think this team that the Newcastle fans really likes them. So at their home ground, they have been hard to beat because of their fans. So I just think Eddie Howe has given the fans them a reason to cheer because before under the other ownership, the Newcastle fans was um basically wanting them out. So they would protest every game, and then that kind of spills on the field. So I think with this new coach is just belief in the players, and I think he's a very good man manager. And you see him getting the best out of the players. What Newcastle did correctly, I think, with their new owners, because we all know they're billionaires. They didn't
Mm,
go out and buy the fancy names or
A
people
right,
just
bunch of
right.
coming there
players.
for money. They vet their players and the right mentality. And Eddie Howe speaks about mentality in his press conference, and he gets the players that are willing to work. And we can see Botman, Bruno, their transfers they're working. And Newcastle is a hard side to beat, whichever ground they turn up on. So it's just that I think the manager has done.
Yes, definitely a real turnaround in fortunes, and both teams are flying high, both looking to get into Europe this year. But Sniper, in terms of gameplay and how you think this one will play out in terms of a final results, talk to us.
Um, it's tough. It's a difficult game to dissect. I'm not even gonna like. I went back and I kind of dissected the first game that we played against Newcastle. Um, and we have a totally different team now. So it is very hard to say what is going to take place at Villa Park. Um, Villa fans are out in numbers, as you can see now as well, just as much as Newcastle fans are. So
Mm,
if the fans really stand behind the team as they've been the last couple of games after Arsenal, it's going to be a very difficult game at Villa Park for Newcastle. Um, will it be a win? I would say more likely a draw.
mm,
It's going to be
okay.
a draw, and if it's going to be a win, it's going to be a and if it's going to be a win for Aston Villa, it's going to be a probably like a 1-0,
1-0.
yeah,
Mm.
or a
So
2-1, a lucky 2-1.
tight game then.
It's going to be a tight game.
Okay. So Leon, how
I'm
do
not
you
going
see
to.
this one? How you see it?
I
Because
I
Sniper
see
seemed to be on the fence, not willing to go out on a limb and give us anything too definitive.
I'll put space on that fence for me because I'm going for a draw as well.
Mm,
I think their style of play is different. I think Aston Villa looks to play through the middle more, and Newcastle most of their play comes from the wings. So
Yeah,
I think it would be a game
more
of
from the wing.
transition. So it's just who can implement their style the most, and I'll go with a 1-1 1-1 draw.
1-1. Well, for me, to be honest, with Aston Villa at home in Red Hat Farm, I'm gonna go with a 2-1 win for Aston Villa. I just think Emery will come with a superior tactical approach. The fans behind the team, Ole Watkins on farm. To me, I see Newcastle showing a little chink in the armor. I mean, we saw where they conceded and, a few chances against Brentford in their last game. So my feeling is, although it will be a tight, very competitive game, I'm gonna go with a home win for Aston Villa in this one.
That's good to
But
hear. That's good to hear.
but we move. Next big game coming up, we also have West Ham facing league leaders Arsenal. Arsenal, of course, coming off that exciting 2-2 draw against Liverpool, opening the door somewhat for Man City. Sniper, how do you see this game playing out? And can Arsenal bounce back from that draw against Liverpool?
Arsenal is definitely going to take that one. West Ham right now they're damaged, if you ask me. Arsenal is on a different type of form, and I think I mentioned this back in the Man City game against Arsenal. It's a different Arsenal than what we are used to. So I think Arsenal is definitely going to show up for this game more than they did for the Liverpool game.
Okay. Well, well, they always say the ball is round and football is played on the field. But Leon, how do you see Arsenal approaching this one? And what are your thoughts on this West Ham team under David Moyes? Can they hold off Arsenal? Can they open the door even further for Man City to creep through?
I think if West Ham want something out of this match, I think they'd have to take a blueprint from Liverpool's book, because we can see in both the Liverpool and I think they draw at Newcastle. When Arsenal loses points, it comes down to a physical battle. I think Liverpool drew Arsenal away from their smooth football and let it be more physical, robust. And I thought that's where they lost the match, because I thought Arsenal stopped playing at one point. So if West Ham wants something out of that, I think, because it's at their home, right? I think
Yes. A London derby as well.
yes, I think they should go about that route, try to disrupt Arsenal, because Arsenal is going to look to bounce back from this result. And I think it's probably the first time I've seen a chink in Arsenal's armor since season. I think they were really nervous, I think. And that's what the title race does to you. So I just think if West Ham wants something, I think they should go down that route.
But for Liverpool,
yeah.
for the Liverpool game, it was more a mental thing, though. They got under Arsenal mentally,
Yeah,
not physically. For me,
it's it.
Right,
they started to play the mind games.
Yeah, I
Them
guess
start to
that
get
clash between Shaka and Trent
yeah.
really riled up the
That's where
Liverpool crowd.
that's where the game that's where the game broke down, and then the crowd got behind Liverpool at that point.
Right.
So it
After
became a
that,
mental thing.
but I think it's probably both, because after that, what happened? Arsenal lost every 50-50 battle after that point. So it's probably a little bit of both.
Yeah, Leon, you definitely raise an interesting point about the physical nature of teams that have gotten results against Arsenal. It's the same scenario that occurred when I believe it was Brentford who drew against them. And you could say to an extent as well that defeat against Everton when Sean Dyche took over. So it's an interesting point. If West Ham can come with a bit of physicality, which we know they are a very robust team, then who to tell? They may just sneak a shock result and blow the title race even further open. But tactically, Sniper, how do you see both teams setting up from a tactical point of view? Will we see anything different from Arsenal?
I think Arsenal is going to keep their form. The same things that have been working for them, they're going to keep going at that. As far as the West Ham, they have, the ings that they can use.
Right.
I'm not sure what their injury list is like, but it's hard
Well,
to speak on West Ham.
I mean, interestingly enough, West Ham played today in the Europa League or
Go
the
on.
Europa Conference League, I should say. UEFA is always coming up with all of these downgraded competitions, Europa League, Europa Conference League. They played against Genk and drew 1-1 with a changed lineup. Many of the first team players were not risking this game. So you can definitely see that Moyes has an eye on the fixture coming up because West Ham isn't really out of the relegation dogfight.
3 points above.
They are still fighting for their life down there close to the relegation zone. So I personally don't think this will be any sort of gimme game for Arsenal. I think West Ham will definitely approach this one looking to get something out of it. But Leon, how do you see it tactically?
I think Arsenal will go about business as usual, try to impose themselves on the game. I think it'll really be down to West Ham, as I said before. I think with those huge players who check in the middle, Declan Rice, I think they should make it more of a battle, physical battle, than a footballing battle. But I think West Ham has always been a transitional team. I think they'll sit back, try to hit Arsenal on the breaks through Bowen. I think 4-0 start the last match. I think with West Ham, the main issue this year for West Ham has been goal scoring for him. I think they brought in Skamaka, but he's been mainly injured, so it's a hit and miss. I think
Right?
their top goal scorers are Bowen and Benrahma. I don't think with 4 goals in the Premier League,
Right.
I don't think Benrahma starts that much. I think he's mostly off the bench, and
Mm.
I think West Ham has about, I think it's 27 goals scored this year. I think they scored 60 in total last year. So if you're looking at the difference, I think they have like to match that, it has to be like from the 9 games, 33 goals. So you can really see that's where they really fall short this year. So it's just if
Yeah, I mean,
they can speak.
no. I was saying that even with West Ham, their difference between last this year is Michael Antonio. He
Right,
has
Mm,
right.
not really been on form at all this year.
yeah,
Yeah,
no.
definitely.
Last year he was on form,
It seemed like
so that's where they took a big blunt.
for Mikel Antonio, I think Mikel
Don't say
Antonio's farm has gone downhill ever since he scored that goal for Jamaica, to be honest with you. Yeah, it's almost as if he came to Jamaica and he got salted up. His
I
farm
I
try.
has
think
gone downhill ever since he scored that. Was it that
it's a,
superb
it's
goal against the US in the National Stadium?
it's a topper effect. The topper effect.
Yeah, so I figure that's why they brought in Ings.
I think he was
They
having
brought in
trouble.
Ings, but yeah, they brought in Ings, but Ings wasn't really doing it at Aston Villa, so I don't think it was really like
Mm. Well, I guess
but
it's another body through the door, nevertheless, at least,
but so what
yeah.
happened is I believe that move was supposed to happen prior to Aston Villa, so they saw the opportunity, they took it again.
Yeah, for sure, definitely. Yeah, I mean, Ings hasn't really set the place on fire, but as I said, he's another body that Moyes can definitely call upon, and I mean, given the opportunity, he will bury a goal or two. So, who to tell? The Aston Villa, I mean, the West Ham fans will definitely be hoping he can find something against Arsenal. And as Leon
Finally.
mentioned, I mean, the pressure is now on in front of a London crowd. I mean, it's no easy feat, playing in a London derby. So this one is definitely going to be a very interesting game to watch. But Sniper, in terms
Well, I
of,
mean,
yeah, go ahead.
no, go ahead.
No, I was saying in terms of
No, I
how
was saying,
you expect the game to flow, and of course, give us a prediction in terms of your final score.
well, I mean, from what I've been observing, West Ham like to play through the middle. Arsenal is going to play on the wing, and that's where West Ham is going to have the issue because from the ball go down the wing, and especially on the side of Saka, that's a runaway right there because they don't have anybody to keep up with Saka,
Mm.
right? But from a goal prediction, I'll probably give Arsenal a
2-0?
2-0. Yeah, 2-0.
2-0. Okay. What say you, Leon?
I'm leaning towards that score as well. I think 2-0 is a fair result. I don't think West Ham has had the goal threat over the season too. let me have them any confidence in them pulling something against this Arsenal team. I think a 2-0 is a fair result. I'll lean with that.
No, for me, I find this one very interesting. In that when Arsenal in the past have come up against an obstacle, let's say they have drawn or won a game, I believe their next game has been a home game. On this occasion, this is an away game. So coming off a draw from Liverpool, they now play away to West Ham. And for me, my gut instincts is telling me that West Ham is going to get something from this one. I am predicting West Ham to go and get a draw from this one. So I'm predicting a 1-1 draw. I just feel that the pressure is now mounting. Expectations have been heightened, and Arsenal now has to take the game to teams who especially may set up in a low block type of formation, which I'm expecting West Ham to set up, where I don't believe David Moyes is going to go head to head with this Arsenal team. You know, Arsenal has the superior players. They are more technical. They are faster, probably better finishing. So I believe he's just going to have to button down the hatches. And as you say, play on the break, maybe through a Ben Rama, through a Bowen, maybe through an Ings or an Antonio. But I feel West Ham have something in them to get something from, especially, let's say, a set play. You know, as you mentioned, the players can be quite physical. They have height. Souček comes to mind, Zuma, you know. So I feel they may nick something from a set play. And of course, it's very difficult to keep Arsenal out. So I feel Arsenal will definitely score in this game. So for me, I'm going to go 1-1 and get the media talking again about a title race and whether or not Arsenal can be caught and such delights. But Sniper, give us your final word on this week's football action coming up.
It's going to be an exciting weekend, as usual in the EPL. Much more exciting than the Chelsea and Real Madrid game. But it's going to be exciting. It's going to be an exciting weekend.
What say you, Leon? How do you see this weekend panning out? I mean, a number of storylines, a number of narratives are developing. We have the title race, we have the battle for top four, we have the the relegation fight, and also we have the Chelsea story. I mean, Chelsea, haven't scored a goal in over 4 hours of football now? With such heavy spending?
Three managers, 4 games. Three managers, 4 games, no goal. That's the stats.
Lampard coming out after the Real Madrid match saying that he never knew that Real Madrid was that good. So they just is saying that coming against the Real Madrid. I think Chelsea is just getting to the end of the season for them. For the week, I mean, in the top 4 race, mind you, I know we played very well against Everton, but during this match, I think the Europa League match, I think I saw Martinez going down with some tendon injuries.
Yeah, it looked like his season is definitely over.
Varane was off with injury. We see Rashford getting injured. So as soon as we get back, Casemiro and Eriksen, we see the Rashford and our 2 main centre backs going down. So it should be an interesting end of the season for Manchester United. We all knew that them being in so many competitions at one with that thin squad was going to have some form of repercussion. So I'm just seeing how our manager will navigate this one. I have every faith in him because he's been doing an excellent job this season. And for Chelsea, I don't know what's up with Chelsea. And for Arsenal, I'm very interested with Arsenal now because it's pressure time, and we'll see how Arsenal handle the pressure. I saw Zinchenko crying after on the bench last week. So the pressure is.
Yeah, definitely. Trent deleted him. I'm wondering if Arsenal has hit the undo button as yet when it comes to Zinchenko. You know, but it's very interesting. We might very well now see the return of Magra in the Man U squad, you know, because that injury looked like the end of the season for Martinez right there. And of course, City plays as well. City has a game coming up. Who are they playing?
I'm not sure. I'd have to
I
find
don't
that.
remember, you know.
Yes,
Hold on,
see,
I'll tell
I
you
think
right
it was
now.
it should be a fairly straightforward game for City in my opinion. I think I think City plays against Leicester.
Okay.
And you know, Leicester what rock bottom of the league currently. New manager coming in. Who to tell we might get a new
But they're
manager's
but they're
bunks? Who to tell we
they're
maybe will
they're
get a new manager's bunks
Dean
and
Smith,
Leicester nick
they're still
something from City.
they're still the manager list, no?
no, Leicester, Dean
The
Smith.
manager hasn't started yet.
Oh, Dean Smith.
Oh
Well,
yeah, yeah,
yeah,
it's Dean Smith.
Dean
Yeah.
Smith.
Well, they're still manager list.
Yeah, I'm not sure how many training sessions he would have gotten in preparation for this game, but who to tell?
But
We've
it's
seen
it's
stranger things happen.
but this is the thing. They have Leicester getting Dean Smith is like Chelsea getting Potter.
Uh,
Well,
win percent. But I
mm,
think it was a 24% win percentage for Dean Smith. I hope that's not true, because it doesn't look it
well,
doesn't look promising at all.
It
you
is.
know, the
It
ball
is.
is run. The ball is run, and we have definitely seen stranger results in the EPL. So while on paper
I
things
mean,
look straightforward, you know, it
the
might be a
win
different story
probability
in the game.
the win probability for Leicester City right now is 6%.
Mm. Well,
So
well, it would be definitely be a hard man to bet against Man City for this game, you know,
and
with
it's and it's
Haaland
and it's
in
and it's and
red
it's
form.
yeah, and it's playing at Man City Stadium.
Right,
So
right, right. So, I mean, definitely Man City should mark this one down. But as I said, you can never count out a team. You just gotta wait to watch the game and see what the final result is. But for sure, Man City should be definitely heavy favorites entering into this game and should be a fairly routine win. But as I said, the game still has to be played, and we've seen stranger results in the EPL over the years. So until you hear that final whistle and that final score, then just about anything can definitely happen, you know? Because personally, I think
absolutely,
there will be a number of twist and turn before the season ends. I don't think it's going to be anything straightforward for either team currently, Arsenal or Man City. I think
yeah.
teams are going to
I
drop
mean,
points, teams are going to gain points. There'll be a number of twist and turns. So,
yeah, man. I see Aston Villa Arsenal at the finals. So
well, definitely, I mean, we'll just have to watch the weekend's action and see how things pans out. But viewers and subscribers, I'd just like to thank you again for joining us and tuning in to Beating the Press podcast. Just going to encourage you to continue to share, like, and subscribe to the channel. Of course, I must pass on my thanks and sentiments to Snypa for coming on board and sharing with us his views and his opinions. And of course, thanks goes out to Leon as well. But viewers and subscribers, looking forward to another brilliant weekend of football action. And until next time, this is Rafa signing off.